And so I got this phone call. I was actually finishing up on Spartacus, and I was starting to think to myself, what's the next job? How am I going to go back to building? This phone call came through, and they said, he wants you to come down to Arzov. I was like, oh, wasn't that? But yeah. But anyway, so I went down there, and basically, they decided that Arzov would be shot the same way that Andy Serkis shot Gollum, which gives you great character, gives you facial quality, gives you expression and all that sort of stuff. And so Arzov was born in the CGI world, and it's such an interesting process. As a matter of fact, in 2 weeks, I'm going back down there to shoot The Desolation of Smaug. I'm the last thing that ever gets shot, because they shoot all the battle scenes in live action, and then I go in there and create the whole CGI version of Arzov, which is then imprinted upon the actual film. It's all added on later. But the crazy thing is I never work with the other actors. All I have is Peter Jackson going, okay, Manu, you're in front of a tree. There's a big tree in front of you. And Gandalf was up the top of it. And Thorin Oakenshield goes, oh, Thorin's looking at you now, and he's very pissed. I'm telling you, it's a crazy process. I mean, I've got this little tight lycra outfit on, and with balls on it, and this helmet with a camera in my face. I look like a really weird guy at Comic-Con. And I'm meant to be this 9-foot-tall orc called Arzov, so actually you've got to completely live outside of yourself to play the role like that. You've got to be really imaginative as an actor to fill it, just be determined that you're going to be in that space and own it, Very interesting, challenging.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, dude. I'm
a Maori, yes, I'm a Maori.
Yes.
You're my friends.
Yeah, and the reason I asked that question, or I try to interrupt, because number one, Lawrence is one of my drinking buddies. The guy kills me. And Sal Baker, and it seems to me that the Maori with Peter Jackson has always been in orc roles more than any, of the primary characters, and I'm trying to understand what's the reasoning for that.
Well, say again, don't they?
They're all built.
That's a good way to look at it.
She's right.
But look, I think the thing is this: we got to accept that we live in a world, and the things that we project upon our own existence going forward and backwards, or anyway, we look at ourselves and we look at tribalism. I mean, the orcs are tribal. They've got sort of tattooy sort of skin and all sorts of things. I mean, one of the very, very interesting things that I thought took place in filmmaking at one stage was a guy called Joseph Campbell, who wrote A Hero of a Thousand Faces, which was basically a book about linking cultural stories to show that we all are the same, really, through our storytelling. That he advised George Lucas on Star Wars, and there's one scene that's on the Death Star where Darth Vader's walking down between the stormtroopers. There was an absolute replica, because of Joseph Campbell's, advice of the Nuremberg rally, where Hitler rallied the German, troops to go take on the war. So, there's symbolism that appears in movies, like, why are Maoris playing the orcs, is because, in a way it tells a story of like potentially there's a European kind of feel to the elves, and the hobbits are sort of English, and so, there's this sort of tribalism that's part of the orcish world, I mean, you can become a bit, I could go, I'm a Maori, I don't want to be treated like that, but the thing is I do realise that that's the way we do subliminally view some of our storylines and the way things are represented sometimes. Peter Jackson said that I was the breakout performance of the first Hobbit movie, which was a huge compliment, and he was saying that to a Maori boy that he cast as an orc, so, cast me for any reasons where he thought my strength as a tribal Maori helped match the strength of Azog, because I can do a good haka, or whatever, then so be it. Power to me and power to him, and let's do it.
All right, good answer. Hey, dude, you've been standing there a while. Go ahead.